Why did the CEO of Ford Motor Company stand outside a small workshop in Detroit? Why did Tesla's chief engineer stay for hours in this seemingly ordinary workshop? The answer was hidden in a mechanic who had been working here for 25 years and no one paid any attention. Marcus Johnson's secret would change the automotive industry forever. On the east side of Detroit, in the old industrial area of Michigan Avenue, the sign Johnson's Auto Repair hung. This rust-stained, peeling paint sign had been in the same place for the last 25 years. The small lettering under the sign reminded me of the words, "Since 1985, honest work, fair prices." Inside was Marcus Johnson, who opened the doors at 6:30 every morning. Marcus was 52 years old. His hands were calloused, always greasy under his fingernails. He looked like a typical mechanic in an old Detroit Lions t-shirt and worn jeans. His hair was graying and his face had the lines of years. Customers would call out to him, "Hey Marcus," and he would respond with a broad smile, "Morning buddy, what's cookie nung today?" Everyone knew him as an ordinary mechanic who grew up in the neighborhood and learned the trade from his father. His first thing in the morning was to get a cup of coffee from the old coffee machine in the corner of the garage. He always drank IT black, without sugar. "Real men drink it black," he would say to himself with a laugh. Then he would take care of the day's work. Today, as usual, 3 cars were waiting. Mrs. Patterson's old Honda Civic, young Tommy's first car, a 2010 Camaro, and Mr. Rodriguez's truck, but no one really knew Marcus's past. Every morning, as he sipped his coffee and started the day's work, Marcus would look at old photographs on the wall. Opening day of the garage his father opened in 1985. The first customers? The first time he fixed an engine at the age of 12 with his father, George Johnson. But most importantly, in a small frame in the corner, there was the diploma he hid from everyone. Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Mechanical Engineering. Summa cum laude. Marcus's story actually goes back much further. When he was little, while other kids were playing soccer in the street, he spent time in his father's garage. "This boy understands engines," his father George would say proudly. "He's got magic in his hands." In high school, Marcus was one of the smartest students in Detroit. He was always at the top in math and science. His teachers were always pushing him into classes above his grade level. "This kid should go to MIT," they said. In 1991, when he WASA senior in high school, he received an acceptance letter from MIT with a full scholarship. That evening, his father took him to Coney Island and they celebrated. "Son, you will be the pride of this family," George said, his eyes shining. 4 years at M, it were a dream for Marcus. The wonderful atmosphere of Boston, working with the smartest students in the world. Learning from professors, mechanical engineering classes in particular became his passion. For his graduation project, he worked on hybrid and gene technologies. At the time, this was still relatively unknown, but Marcus could see the future. After graduating from MIT in 1995, he was inundated with job offers from major engineering firms in Boston, General Electric, Raytheon, Ford's Boston R&D Center. They all wanted him. Starting salaries were around $80,000-$90,000. Which was an enormous amount of money at the time. Marcus had moved into a small apartment in Boston and was getting ready to start at Ford. He was making plans for the future. Maybe in a few years he would start his own company. But just then, he got that phone call. It was his mother, Mary, calling that Thursday evening in May 1995. Her voice was shaky, worried. "Marcus, something has happened to your father. He had a heart attack. He's in the hospital in serious condition." Marcus took the train back to Detroit that night. He waited for hours in the halls of Henry Ford Hospital. His father, George, was stable, but the doctor had serious warnings. "Mr. Johnson's heart is very weak. He can no longer do heavy work. No stress, no strenuous physical activity." In those days, the situation in the garage was also terrible. Customers stopped coming because George was sick. The bills were piling up. The electricity was in danger of being cut off. "I'm going to Boston, Dad. Big projects are waiting," Marcus said at the head of his hospital bed. His father looked at him with both pride and concern in his eyes and said, "Go, son, follow your dreams. Just don't forget this old garage of yours. Maybe one day you will come back," he said. But when Marcus woke up in the morning after spending the night with his family, he was in a different frame of mind. He saw his mother's worried face and held his father's weakening hands. He looked at the Beale father's weakening hands. He looked at the bills piling up in the repair shop, anxious Ellos piling up in the repair shop, anxious phone calls from customers of 30 years ringing in his ears. Phone calls from customers of 30 years ringing in his ears. "I'm staying here," he finally said. "But my son, your future," his mother began. "My future starts here," Marcus said with determination. He framed his MIT diploma and hung it on the wall, but threw an old cloth over it. He didn't want anyone to see it. Maybe one day, he thought, maybe one day everyone will understand. That someday never came. The first years were very difficult. Mark US was trying to apply what he had learned at MIT to the daily work of the small repair shop. He was buying diagnostic equipment and using modern repair techniques. Customers were skeptical at first. What does this young boy know? They said, but Marcus was patient. He treated each car like an engineering project. He didn't just fix problems, he made improvements. When customers' cars left the shop, they were running better than before. Slowly, his reputation in the neighborhood began to spread. Go to Marcus, people were saying. That boy works magic. In the 2000s, the work at the repair shop was booming. Marcus could no longer do it alone. He hired two helpers, young Joey and old Carl. Joey was an eager 19-year-old. Carl was a 30-year veteran mechanic. Boss, Joey would say, how come you diagnose so fast? It's like you can see inside the car? Marcus would just smile. Practice makes perfect, kid. But Carl was observing more carefully. Marcus, you're different, he would sometimes say. You're not like the other mechanics. It's like you know more. In 2005, his father George passed away. Marcus became the sole owner of the garage. On the day of the funeral, hundreds of people showed up. George's customers of 30 years, neighborhood residents, Old Far Ians. My father would have been proud, Marcus thought that day. But what about my dreams? After that night, Marcus started a different routine. Every evening at 8 p.m., after the last customer had left, he would say to Joey and Carl, see you tomorrow, guys, and then go to the back room of the shop after they had gone home. It was a different world here. Computers, technical drawings, electronic circuits, prototype engines, an environment reminiscent of the labs at MIT. It was here that Marcus pursued his real project. Since 2006, he had been developing a hybrid system that combined conventional internal combustion engines with electric motors. But this was nothing like the hybrid technology found in the Toyota Prius or Honda Insight on the market. Marcus's system was revolutionary. It optimized every part of the engine with AI-powered algorithms, adjusting the fuel injection with millisecond precision and timing the electric motor's power perfectly. The result? 85% fuel savings compared to normal NGNS. Nobody will believe this, he would mutter at midnight as he bent over the prototype engine. How can a guy in a small garage do something like this? Toyota and Honda have hundreds of engineers. I'm on my own. In the 2010s, he was making major breakthroughs in his project. He optimized the magnetic field of the electric motor. He had found significant improvements in battery technology. Most importantly, he managed to make all the components of the system work in perfect harmony with each other. In 2015, he finished his first full prototype. He installed the system in an old Ford Mustang. On midnight test drives, the results were incredible. Only 2.8 liters of fuel per 100 kilometers, where a normal Mustang consumes 15 liters. But Marcus still didn't tell anyone. Not yet, he said to himself. It has to be more perfect, more reliable. In 2018, he improved the system even further. Fuel consumption was now down to 1.8 liters per 100 kilometers, and the noise of the electric motor was almost zero. It was as if the car was flying. By the time the pandemic hit in 2020, work at the repair shop was down. People were staying at home and using their cars less. Marcus took advantage of this time and was able to devote more time to his project. Late at night, working alone, he would sometimes stop and look at the photo of his father George on the wall. Dad, he would say quietly, maybe you were right. Maybe this was my true path, to bring what I learned at MIT here to work miracles in your garage. By 2022, HE had finalized his system. It was now 90% fuel efficient and completely silent, but he still didn't share it with anyone. Who would believe it? He thought to himself. I'm just Marcus, the neighborhood mechanic. Until that cold November evening in 2023, November 25th, 2023, Saturday evening, Marcus was working in the back room as usual, fine-tuning the engine of his test Mustang. Sound levels, vibration levels, performance metrics, everything was perfect. At 21:30, his phone rang. It was Mike Kowalski, one of his old customers. Mike was a 45-year-old Polish man who ran a pizza shop in the neighborhood. Hey, Marcus, bro, Mike said, sounding worried. I got a real problem here, man. My car broke down and all the repair shops are closed. I can't get a pizza delivery. Want me to come? I'll pay extra. Promise. Marcus hesitated. He was pursuing his secret project. He didn't want to be interrupted. But Mike was an old, trusted customer. Sure, Mike. Come right over, he finally said. Enter through the back door. I've already closed the front. Mike arrived 15 minutes later in a broken Honda Accord. It had a transmission problem, but it was a simple fix. While Marcus was fixing Mike's car, he didn't notice the engine noise coming from the back room. The TEST Mustang was still running, but it was so quiet compared to normal. Mike, paying his bill, perked up his ears. Marcus, what's that noise? I've never heard that kind of engine noise. It's so different. Marcus's heart raced. Just doing a test, bro. Nothing special. But Mike was curious. Come on, man, show it off. I'm a car enthusiast, you know. Mike, really, it's nothing. It's just an old Mustang. Mike insisted. Come on, Marcus, we're buddies. What have you got to lose? Marcus was fighting an internal battle after 25 years of keeping a secret to suddenly reveal it. But Mike was a trustworthy man, and in the end, okay, he said, taking a deep breath. But you're not going to tell anyone about this, deal? Deal, bro. Promise. Marcus led Mike into the back room. Mike was stunned when he entered the room. Holy shit, Marcus. What is this? Is this a lab? The test Mustang stood in the center, its engine running very quietly. Mike walked around the car. This Mustang looks nothing like a normal Mustang. Look at the engine noise, it's almost non-existent. And what is this? He asked, pointing to a part of the hybrid system. Marcus's palms were sweating. His 25-year secret was about to be revealed. Mike, he said, lowering his voice, I'm going to tell you something, but swear you won't tell anyone. That night, Marcus told Mike everything. He showed Mike his MIT diploma, explained his secret project that had been years in the making, shared his test results. Fuel consumption is 1/10 of a normal Mustang, Marcus said, and the noise is almost non-existent. Mike was shocked. His mouth was open. His eyes were wide. Marcus, bro, are you crazy? This technology is worth billions of dollars. Toyota, Honda, Tesla, don't they all want it badly? Why are you hiding it? Marcus shrugged his shoulders. Because I'm just a mechanic, Mike. Who's going to believe me? Who's going to say, hey, Marcus from the neighborhood found a motor that's going to change the world? Mike shook his head. Marcus, you underestimate yourself. You're an MIT graduate, man, and this is real. Then Mike took out his cell phone. Do you mind? Let me just take a short video. I want to record this engine noise. I have to show it to the friends. Marcus hesitated. Mike, I don't know. Come on, bro. Trust me. This is going to change the world. People need to see it. Finally, Marcus agreed. Okay, but make me invisible in the video. Just the car. Mike uploaded the 2-minute video to Facebook that same evening. The caption reads, I saw something incredible at my buddy Marcus's garage. Listen to this engine sound. The tech miracle happening in Detroit. Detroit innovation. Hamhat hybrid tech. The video went viral overnight. The next morning, on SL Unday, when Marcus arrived to open his garage, he found a crowd waiting outside his door. But these were no ordinary neighborhood residents. The first one he saw was a man in a suit who arrived in a flashy Tesla model. He was carrying a tablet and thick feelies. Excuse me, are you Marcus Johnson? I'm David Chen, Senior Technology Director from Tesla. We need to talk to you urgently. Marcus's hand was shaking. He couldn't put the key in the lock. I'm just a mechanic, sir. No, Mr. Johnson, David Chen said in a calm but serious voice. You are not like that. We know you are a graduate of MIT Mechanical Engineering, and that video that went viral last night, is that technology real? Marcus looked around. Besides Tesla, there were representatives from Ford, General Motors, Toyota, Honda. They had all arrived in expensive cars, all in suits, all with serious faces. Gentlemen, Marcus finally said, let's go inside. That day, Marcus' garage became the center of the automotive industry. For hours, representatives from the world's biggest car companies scrutinized Marcus' technology. Jim Morrison, Ford's chief engineer, was stunned as he perused the technical files. This is incredible. How is fuel efficiency so high? And electromagnetic optimization? You need a supercomputer to operate at this level? How did you do it? 25 years, Marcus said humbly. Every night, alone. Trial and error. Hundreds of trials. Sarah Kim, Tesla's chief technology officer, almost forgot to breathe as she examined the hybrid system's electronic control unit. Mr. Johnson, this technology could revolutionize the entire automotive industry. Do you have patent protection? Intellectual property lawyer? Marcus laughed bitterly. Patent? Lawyer? Lady, I'm a guy who works in a small garage in Detroit. I can barely pay rent. Who would take my patent seriously? That day, Marcus had one of the longest and most surreal days of his life. The phone was ringing constantly, company representatives were coming and going. Everyone wanted to buy his technology, license it, partner with him. In the afternoon, journalists from AP News, CNN, Detroit Free Press started to arrive. The hidden genius of Detroit news started to spread. By evening, Marcus was alone. He sat in the unfamiliar silence of his garage, trying to make sense of it all. He looked at the photo of his father George on his wall. "Dad," he said quietly, "I don't know what to do. This is too big for me." His phone rang. The caller ID said, "Jim Farley, Ford CEO. Mr. Johnson, this is Jim Farley, CEO of Ford Motor Company. I'm coming to Detroit tomorrow, to your garage." Marcus's heart skipped a beat. The CEO of Ford, the head of the company that changed the world. "Of course, sir. I'll be here." The next day, Monday morning, Jim Farley, Ford's CEO, pulled up outside Marcus's small repair shop. In this small workshop with a rust-stained sign in one of Detroit's poorest neighborhoods. With him were Ford's Chief Technology Officer, Chief Innovation Officer, and lawyers from the legal team. "Mr. Johnson," Jim Farley said, extending his hand, "I'm Jim Farley. Your technology could change automotive history. Ford would like to enter into a long-term partnership with you." Marcus looked at him. He was still wearing his old Detroit Lions t-shirt and greasy jeans. "Mr. Farley, I'm still the same Marcus, just a neighborhood mechanic with greasy hands. I'm not in your league." "No, Marcus," Jim Farley said, using his name confidently, "you are more. You are a visionary, a genius, and the world needs to see that." From that day on, Marcus's life changed forever. He signed multi-million-dollar deals for his technology, exclusive partnership with Ford, patent rights, royalty agreement teas, but most importantly, he didn't close his garage. "This is my identity," he told reporters. "This is the place that made me who I am. Whatever success becomes, I'm still Marcus." Today, in 2024, Marcus Johnson is both a famous inventor and the same neighborhood mechanic in Detroit. In the mornings, he still opens his shop at 6:30 a.m., drinks his coffee black, and fixes his customers' cars. But in the evenings, he works on new technologies that will change the world. Now he can use part of Ford's R&D budget, but his workplace is still the same back room. And that MIT diploma on the wall? It now hangs proudly. The cloth has been removed and the words, "Dreams never die," have been added underneath. Sometimes hiding is necessary, Marcus says these days, but sometimes the world needs to see what you can really do. Marcus's story teaches us a fundamental truth. True genius is not always found in fancy offices and prestigious companies. Sometimes it is hidden in the rough streets of Detroit, in a small rep air shop, in the hands of a man with greasy hands. And who knows? Maybe in those ordinary, and who knows? Maybe in those ordinary looking shops you pass every day, in those looking shops you pass every day, in those people who remain unnoticed. There are secrets that will change the world. People who remain unnoticed, there are secrets that will change the world. Because in America, dreams don't have addresses. Because in America, dreams don't have addresses. They just need someone brave. They just need someone brave enough to believe. Enough to believe.